Stat of the game. Dak Prescott.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
There's usually something we do in advance of previewing the Thursday night game. I don't know. This might be like your first year on the podcast. I'm not sure.
Dave, Dallas is at Philadelphia on Thursday night.
Crap, I forgot the song.
Nah.
No.
All right, stat of the game. Dak Prescott has averaged 31.6 fantasy points per game and 6 point per passing touchdown leagues in his last 5 against Philadelphia. One of them was a Week 18 game where the Eagles benched their starters, but he has been very good in this matchup. He didn't face them last year, though. So this could be the best Eagles defense he has faced.
Right.
At least in this recent stretch. So starter sit Dak Prescott, guys.
Low-end starter. I'd rather start Trevor Lawrence. I'd rather start Drake May. I'd rather start Kyler Murray. I'd rather start... That's about the only, I think, ones that are drafted after him.
I agree with all of those. He's not in my top 12. I love Dak Prescott this year. I don't love him this week. I would guess their implied total of, I think it was 20 last time I looked, will be one of their lowest this season. I think it's a bad start for the Cowboys.
You going, since we'll talk about this game in a bit, Herbert, Mahomes, Dak, who do you like?
Mahomes, Dak, Herbert.
Yep.
Big gap between Dak and Herbert.
See, I have Dak and Herbert back-to-back. Big gap between Mahomes and the other two for me.
Okay. So I'm guessing you guys definitely do not want to start Javonte Williams?
No.
No, but I'd start him over Caleb Johnson.
Yes.
Okay, so just to throw this out there, I mean, Dave, I'll throw it to you because you've done a lot of the defense analysis and you've published it. But the Eagles had an amazing defense last year. They were second in scoring. They were tough against the run. They were so tough against the pass. They did not give up big plays, but they have lost some significant pieces, including Milton Williams at defensive tackle, who's on the Patriots. C.J. Gardner-Johnson at safety. He's on the Texans. Darius Slay with the Steelers now. So they're moving some pieces around in their secondary. They also have, I think, when Nakobe Dean is out for a while at linebacker. So, are we kind of overlooking some vulnerabilities, you think, with the Eagles defense?
Yeah, they're not the same defense. You forgot maybe two of the most important losses. They had Josh Sweat, who's now, I believe, in Arizona, and Bryce Huff, who is another pass rusher that they have. Now, if you're a believer in the Eagles, you think that they'll just reload with Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt. And Hunt was good in the Super Bowl. Moro Ojomo is another guy on that D-line. I think he's replacing Milton Williams. But they're getting the opportunity. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be great. If you buy into starting a matchup because of the players on the field, I think this makes you feel better about Dak Prescott because the pass rush won't be quite as suffocating. And you know kind of what the deal is with Vic Fangio defenses anyway. They play a lot of zone. They only rush 4 guys. They don't blitz very much. And I don't think they're going to be inclined to blitz very much because of the Cowboys' offensive line and the state that it's in. They might begin the game thinking they can get to Dak with only 4 guys. I think the reason why you consider Dak is because, there's no reason to believe in the run game for Dallas. We just got done talking about the offensive line. The interior, the up the middle of that defense for Philadelphia is still really good. I mean, Carter and Davis there on D tackle. I mean, that's really where a lot of their pass rush will get generated from anyway, but against the run, that's really good. And so I think Dak's going to have to throw a lot. And yeah, Quinyon Mitchell at one corner is huge. There are other cornerbacks. I'm definitely not sold on Kelly Ringo. And I don't know if I'm ready to give all the credit in the world to Cooper DeJean if he's going to play nickel. So I just think that there's going to be opportunities on top of opportunities for Dak to throw a lot and fall into good production. Can he get to 25 fantasy points? That worries me. But getting 20 or more, I think it can happen.
Okay. Would you guys start Javonte Williams or like a Jordan Mason, Zach Charbonnet, Braylon Allen guy?
I would start Javonte over those guys for this week.
I've got it. Charbonnet, Mason, Williams, Allen.
Okay. And Jerome Ford ahead of Javonte.
By a mile, yeah.
I'd start both Dylan Sampson and Jerome Ford over Javonte.
I think if there's any silver line at Javonte, it's going to be in full PPR. because he can still catch the ball out of the backfield.
The Eagles played 21 games last year, including the playoffs, obviously, and only 4 times did multiple wide receivers score 14 or more PPR fantasy points in the same game. 14 or more. They're usually about 25 to 30 wide receivers who average 14 PPR fantasy points per game. So it's a solid game. It only happened 4 times. One of those was week 18 when they were sitting their starters against the Giants. So when they were playing their guys, happened only 3 times in 20 games. So no one's sitting CeeDee Lamb, but starter sit George Pickens.
How many of those games did they play 2 receivers of this caliber?
That's a good question.
2 against Washington, no. 1 against the Giants, no.
The Rams did it once, so that was one. I think Cooper Kupp had a very late touchdown to save his bacon.
Okay.
Played the Packers. They played the Saints. They played the Bucks, and Chris Godwin fell just short of that. He had 12.9 PPR fantasy points. Evans had a big game. T. Higgins, I might have missed that game actually. So yeah, not much. Rarely, to answer your question. So
Yeah,
starters
I think
starters
that's
at Pickens.
I'm sorry.
Starters at Pickens.
He's number 2 receiver.
Number 3 for me.
DeAndre Swift or Pickens?
Pickens.
I'll take Pickens in PPR.
Swift, of course.
Swift facing Minnesota.
I think Pickens versus Javonte Smith's pretty
Oh.
interesting.
Adam, don't let me leave the podcast today without adding something to the Heath bets.
Okay, Devontae. Yeah, so Devontae Smith in this matchup or George Pickens.
I think they're the same guy.
I'd
But I'd
rather
s-
have Pickens.
Slight lean to Pickens.
Mhm.
Okay, but you guys wouldn't go to like the Jerome Ford route over Pickens or Smith, would you?
No.
Is there any trending player that is ahead of these guys? I mean, I think for the most part, people are going to start the guys they drafted as starters. But any Krosky Merritts of the world that are like Jalen Warren, or George Pickens, Devontae Smith.
Pickens and Smith over Warren.
It would be Warren for me.
All
If
right.
it's non-PPR, I can't even do it in non-PPR. It's the receivers over Warren.
Okay. All right. That's pretty much. I mean, look, we don't have to get too far in depth. It's week 1. So, Jake Ferguson, Dallas Goedert. Do you like either of these guys?
I like Ferguson.
I like Goddard slightly ahead of Ferguson.
Ooh.
Ferguson over Goddard, both in the 13 to 16 range. I think if you were scared of the, I think a lot of people probably drafted Ferguson with Warren or Loveland, and I'd rather start Ferguson week 1.
I would
Over
too.
Warren too?
I would.
Okay, got some questions from the chat. Pickens, Smith, we did that. Cedric Tillman or Javonte Williams?
Javonte.
Javonte safer.
He's safer.
Dak or Drake May if you have CeeDee Lamb?
Dak.
May's
May.
the start of the week, so I'd go May over Dak.
Ooh. Kyler or Dak?
Kyler.
Pick one in PPR. Pickens, Pearsall, or Jamison Williams?
Pearsall.
Pickens.
Pretty sure I have Pickens the highest of the 3.
Pickens or Darnell Mooney? Definitely got to go Pickens there. We don't even know Darnell Mooney's status right now. All right, thank you. And then the Eagles DST, any hesitation to start them?
None.
None.
No.
All right.